destruction took place during Napoleon's occupation of Egypt, which Egypt, as documented by Tony Brower and testified by the collection's other Sphinx portraits he has assembled on page 225 of this book, Nile Valley Contributions of Civilization. These 6 portraits, drawn over a period of 100 years from 1698 to 1798, are the only current evidence available which shows the progression of the nose destruction. Besides the Sphinx, a large percentage of Africoid Kamite statues are missing their noses, where European-looking figures Caucasoid by Kamit's European conquerors. Oh, my bad. That the faces of the Africoid sculptures were also altered to appear Caucasoid, my bad, of the European conquerors. A Sphinx statue, right? A Sphinx statue on display in British Museum admits that the face of the statue was reworked, unquote. During the Roman occupation of Egypt, reporting on the riddle of the racial identity of the ancient Egyptians, Count C. Vonley, a distinguished French scholar who visited Egypt in the late 1700s, wrote in astonishment, quote, "When I visit the Sphinx, its appearance gave me the key to the riddle, beholding the head typically Negro in all its features," unquote. He later added that the Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as all native-born Africans, unquote. The NWO Romano dynasties will often deface statues of past monarchs, right? Monarchs, king and queens, monarchy, right? That's why I keep saying we are a monarch before any of the other shit, right? The Romano dynasties will often deface the statues of past monarchs in order to erase or diminish their legacy. In these cases, the removal of the nose would be accompanied by other or more extensive facial disfigurements, as well as the destruction of inscriptions and symbols of the office. All right. Flipping the page, right? Flipping the page. All right. Okay. Hold on. All right. Y'all good? Y'all straight? My bad. All right, here we go. So now, right? So continuing on. So 4.25 million African slaves shipped to Brazil and Mexico? Question mark. The story goes, over the course of 300 years from the 16th to the 19th centuries, the Brazil import around 4 million slaves, some 40% of the total transatlantic slave trade. The overwhelming majority came from the former Portuguese colony of Angola, located on the Atlantic coast of southern Africa. On July 9th, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization named Valago Wharf a World Heritage Site, along with Northwest England's Lake District, the walled city of Awadad in India, and the sacred Japanese island of Okonoshima, which doesn't allow women on its shores. Hold on. All right. Mother Nurture was happening. All right, so which doesn't allow women on its shores. Of the new site on the list, none has a darker past than Valago Wharf, built in 1911. The wharf functioned as South America's leading slave port. It was here that many as 900,000 enslaved African men and women children were held before being sold on the Brazilian slave market. Dodge the hijack, and I'm going to show y'all why in just a second. Those who didn't survive the ordeal, who passed away during the transatlantic journey or sometime after arriving, were buried in mass graves nearby. Mexico claims African slaves as well. A total of 186,000 so-called Africans were imported into Mexico during that 300 years of the Spanish slave trade, which all of this will be like 1800s. Just for those who don't know, 2 and 300, that's, 1800s. That ain't even that long ago, right? Which is, Ellis Island. Like, we told everybody that all the Africans and white people came in the 1800s. All right. And they just confirming what we already know. So, during the 300 years of Spanish slave trade, looking at the appearance of modern Mexicans, it becomes clear that the now just made up the numbers without any proof. Listen to what they said. They said, just looking at the appearance of modern Mexicans, it becomes clear that the now just made up the numbers without any proof or evidence of the veracity of these claims. Just like we always been telling people, especially Dallas Amaru, shout out to Bit Dog. There is no way 186,000 black-skinned Mongols could be responsible for the pigmented side of well over 100 million light to dark-skinned mestizos. They call them Mongols, though, right? They was talking about importing African slaves, man. Then they called them Mongols. Why would they switch it? First they said these was African slaves. Then they switched it and said Mongols. Right? Mongols, right? That's what they called them. What's that in Rich Soul? Why would they call them Mongols? Why would they call those so-called Africans Mongols? Alright. Let's keep. What's that in Sleep No More? Let's keep going. The American Negro. Right? The American Negro, or Indian, or Blackamoor, or Mongolian Tartaria is the oldest man on earth. What did they just say? They said the American Negro, or Indian, or Blackmore, or Mongolian Tartarian is the oldest man on earth. The oldest chromosome on earth was found in a man from South Carolina, and it is unrelated to African lineages. Let me slow it down one more time. The American Negro, or Indian, or Blackmore, or Mongolian Tartarian. It's the reason why I told you is why you got the Mongolian spot on your ass. You are the Mongolian. Gotta dodge the hijack. Gotta dodge your own hijack while dodging their hijack. You got the Mongolian spot on your ass because you are the Mongolian. And America is Asia. So the American Negro, or Indian, or Blackmore, or Mongolian Tartaria is the oldest man on earth. The oldest chromosome on earth was found in a man from South Carolina, and it is unrelated to African lineage. There are more pyramids in the Americas than anywhere else. The Mayak, or the Shi, as in Meshi, co-conquered the Nile Valley, Arabia, Afghanistan, India, Vietnam, Cambodia, right? What they said the Mayak, the Shi, conquered what? The Nile Valley, Arabia, Afghanistan, India, Vietnam, and the Cambodia, right? Who is these Mayak, these Shi people that we just read? We just got done reading books about what? The Algonquin conquest of 11,000 years old. We just also got done reading about Atlanteans and Shadow of Atlantis, right? The Shi, the Mayak, the Mayan, Tartarians, Atlanteans, whatever you want to call us, Blackamoors, Indians, Mongolian Tartars, American Negro, we are all that. Because we are all of those are the same people that just spread it out. The statues of Buddha are simply images of Osiris, the ruler who conquered the known world in a remote epoch of human history. And we already know who Buddha is, right? What's happening, Voodoo Chief? And we already know Buddha is a Negro. Osiris is a Negro. All of your gods are Negroes. That's why they work so hard to whitewash them. Because the opposite of white is Negro. And all the gods are Negroes. Excuse me. All right. Flipping the page. So they said that the American Negro, they talking about the Mayak, the she. Who is the she? The Mayak. We talking about American Negroes. We talking about Indians. We talking about Blackamoors, Mongolian Tartars, whatever label you want to put on American Negroes. We are the oldest. All right. And we conquered the Nile Valley, Arabia, Afghanistan, India, Vietnam, and Cambodia. There's a whole map right there, right? The statues of Buddha are simply images of Osiris, the ruler who conquered the known world in the remote epoch of human history. There are many sources of Old Testaments takes place in the Americas. The Old Testament takes place in the Americas. Mexico is the original land of the American Negro. They said what? Excuse me, you said what? Huh? Hold on. I gotta hit the paper plane real quick. Appreciate the gills. Thank you, Adrian. They said what? They said that Mexico is the original land of the American Negro, who is the Olmec She, the Aztec, the Toltec, and the etc. And in North America, he is the Algonquin, Choctaw, Wichita, Pequot, Winnipeg, Lenni Lenape, Iroquois, and etc. You guys are everything. Oh my God. You guys are Japanese. You guys are Chinese. You guys are everything. Oh, you guys the Algonquin and Iroquois too? Yes. Yes. Matter of fact, we are. Matter of fact, we are. Right. Mexico is the original land of the American Negro, who is the Olmec She, Aztec, Toltec, etc. In North America, he is the Algonquin, Choctaw, Wichita, Pequot, Winnipeg, Lenni Lenape, and Iroquois, and etc. The Spanish and Portuguese captured and sold what they called Negro de Terra into European slave markets. The Dutch and English didn't even enter Africa until the late 1700s, yet slavery started in 1492. Columbus was a Portuguese Moor named Salvator Fernando Zarraco, and many of the European monarchs in Europe were also Negroes, and we already know that, who came to America as they were being pushed out of Europe by YT European Catholics. The conquistadors